Hi, let's talk about top 10 film directors and special movies. And the first director we are going to talk is about Stanley Kubrick. And we have a very important movie that is 2001 A Space Odyssey. And maybe you say, ooh, I know, and it's very classic, but I think it's boring. It's because we have a different purpose here. It's a long time in the same shot. It's not like advertising and you have many shots all the time, or even adventure movies. We have a lot of shots and a lot of elements to keep our attention. So no, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to put a shot for a long time. I'm not going to have dialogue, just a song and just symbol and just a long shot. So it's a different purpose. And so here we have a way to understand Stanley Kubrick. He's very innovative. And when we understand and we check another films, we know it. For example, The Shining. It's an amazing movie and it's very innovative too. And we have a lot of camera movement. Another example, Clockwork Orange. We have irony. We have violence with a different song. We have the scene in the rain and a rape. Wow. So you see, Stanley Kubrick is very innovative. And so another one. Let's see Alfred Hitchcock. And so we have the classical one here as an example, Psycho. I love this movie. And I don't know if you watched this movie, maybe say, oh, it's black and white. I want with color. I think it's boring. It's not. You're going to enjoy Psycho. Watch it if you didn't watch it. And you're not going to be bored. And we have a lot of cuts and we have a lot of twist because Marion, the character, she steals money, and so this is a conflict. But we have another moment. She's in the car and it's raining too much. So it's another moment. It's another conflict. So she gets in a hotel and it's a weird hotel. And so it's another conflict. So Alfred Hitchcock makes it. He feeds our curiosity all the time with twist, with the change of the character, the change the way he thinks, the change the way he acts. So he keeps us like this. And so we have the example of Vertical. We have this too. We have twist. And Rebecca, we have a lot of twist. And when we check and we observe Alfred Hitchcock, we observe that the movies usually have a character with obsession. We have moral too. So, see it? Don't steal anyone, or don't be like this. The movie says like this, and it keeps our curiosity all the time. Another one, let's see, is Steven Spielberg. See, it's very different here. He uses another element. He has another style. If you like to watch movies and series, or if you want to produce, it's nice to see this comparison, because when you observe, for example, E.T., this amazing movie, we have a lot of friendship, and there's always something epic. There's always the good and the bad one, and always the family environment and the couple who is in love. And sometimes it's common in, like Indiana Jones or Jurassic Park, that couple that is not together and they are in trouble because the dinosaur, or because other people, the enemies, but they're going to be together at the final. So this is the Steven Spielberg movies. We have the style, the friendship, the family, very epic, a lot of movement and a lot of action. This is Steven Spielberg. Another example here, Martin Scorsese. and we have the classical one, Taxi Driver. And what about this movie? What about this director? He used a lot of the internal conflict, because this character that was made by Robert De Niro, he looks at the mirror and he talks to himself. So we have a lot of the character when we watch a movie from Martin Scorsese. And we see that in The Aviator too, for example, because he has obsessive compulsive disorder. So we have the internal conflict again. And also another example, The Wolf of Wall Street. And we have in Martin Scorsese movies the class relations, the internal conflict and the class relations. It's very common in his movies, and it's nice to understand each director, because when we want to get inspired to produce a movie, or when we want to watch something different, I would like to watch a movie that we have internal conflict. Try to watch some Martin Scorsese. Maybe you have a movie that you didn't watch it, or recommend to someone. And next to what we have Akira Kurosawa, and this movie ran a very famous one. We have a conflict between brothers because the heritage, and when we watch it, we think about our family. Does it happen in your family too, or in your friend family? About heritage, conflict between brothers and sisters, and not only inside the family, but inside the whole society. And so we have also Seven Samurai, and we have Dreams, and we understand Akira Kurosawa has psychosocial in many of his movies. Next one, let's talk about Francis Ford Coppola, and a very special movie is The Godfather. This is a very classic one, right? And it's interesting because we have a lot of spirit of morality, or even about the main character, because he says, "You're not my friend. Why are you asking me that?" The main scene has that. He says that. And we have justice too. And also because, for example, if we talk about apocalypse now, and the director criticizes the Vietnam War, there's a song, there's irony. So we have this spirit, morality, justice. And also in the Dracula, Bram Stoker, because the Dracula says, "Oh, come on, I'm Christian. I make everything for God, and I lost my love. So I'm gonna to beat the evil, and it's terrible. I want justice." So in Coppola, we have these themes. Do you want to watch a movie with morality, with justice? You probably will find it in Coppola movies. And next one, let's talk about Federico Fellini. And it's interesting to talk about La Dolce Vita, a very special movie. And when we observe this movie, we observe that who wrote and who directed this movie, observe the environment, observe who is around, and put it on a paper and make a movie. And he has the environment as the reference, the main reference, and he wants to talk about it. And it's nice because who is watching the movie also want to talk. Let's talk about society. Let's talk about our beliefs. Let's talk about what we are doing, what we are thinking. And so he writes a movie, or he directs a movie, and because he wants to talk about it, he wants to talk about you. And even before him, you want to talk about it. So it's nice when we have this in movies, and Fellini makes it. especially when we observe to 80 and health. It's about his lives. We have a film director who is very full of stress and has time to make everything and is with anxiety, and he's talking about himself. So when we have a Fellini movie, we have internal and social conflicts. And we observe that in La Estrada too, because the conflict we have to the girl, to the space we are, the drama in this movie. And now let's talk about Quentin Tarantino. Oh, this is very original director with a lot of violence, with a lot of blood, and the sequence is, there's blocks of scenes, and so we have a story. It's very amazing way to write a movie. And as example, we have Pulp Fiction. We have all these elements there, and that proof with a very unique scene that won the car, with blood, with irony, with dark humor. Dark humor is a very important point when we talk about Tarantino. And we may remember two Inglourious Bastards. He criticized about the war, about the Nazism, but with dark humor, with blood, with violence. And there are very interesting dialogues. I love the dialogues made by Tarantino. And let's talk about James Cameron and the Terminator. And we see he loves fiction. He loves a word that doesn't exist, like the Terminator or the aliens of the deep. He loves the ocean, the sea. And we see that in Titanic, that is a real environment. But James Cameron is a director who gives us scenes with a lot of rhythm and nice dialogue. And we have action, we have fight, we have mystery, we have love, and we have the ocean. And that's James Cameron. And the last one, Ingmar Bergman. And the most famous movie from Ingmar Bergman is The Seventh Seal. And it's very interesting because is when we talk about the death. And it's very nice because we have empathy. Maybe imagine if you could talk to the death and ask, please give me more time. So we have a lot of energy and loneliness. And we see that in scenes from marriage and cries and whispers too. So I hope you enjoyed this class. It's just for you get inspiration and get a little bit comparison. Of course, I didn't tell all the special and the top 10 film directors, or I didn't even tell all the special movies. This is infinite. And if you want more classes with me, I invite you to take my course From Script to Video, How to Turn a Story into a Movie. I hope to see you again, and I see you in the next class.